Dracula Crazy Vampire is a 2001 Game Boy Color game. I was surprised when starting the game that it was produced by Universal, making this an official Universal Monsters game. The music on the title menu is pretty good Dracula music. But once it loads, at first it can be a little jarring. The screen is always trying to adjust and center Dracula, which causes a lot of extra movement. Which could almost be motion sickness inducing. But looking past that, the first level starts you in a dungeon-like castle with absolutely no defense. You have no attack, so if you accidentally wander around too much, you can get attacked and overwhelmed, being defenseless. You have to first find the old witch, who gives you your weapon. She says the Grand Inquisitor came and sacked Dracula's castle and asked you to help find an ingredient. Your weapon is a bat that shoots out like a projectile and stuns the enemy. A second bat will make it fall into a pile of bones. But human enemies can be stunned, and their energy, they call it energy, but it's blood. I don't know why you would try to censor that. It's like Dracula's defining characteristic. I mean, he drinks blood. You explore around the castle, fighting dogs and ogres until you're able to find the ingredient for the potion that the witch requires. Once she makes the potion, it allows you to travel out into the sunlight, and she gives you the goal of the game, which is to recruit other vampires to help you fight the Grand Inquisitor. You do this by having over half of your life bar filled up when completing a level, which you can replenish by drinking victims' blood. The next level is a daytime level. Your other meter is a purple sun meter. If you're in the sun, the meter goes down, but staying in the shadows refill it, so you have to sneak around and avoid time in the sun during these levels. There are some enemies that kinda look like machete-wielding killers, but I think it's just supposed to be a sword, because sometimes the enemies seem to also have elf ears, which makes it feel more fantasy-oriented. But the caves and castle look pretty cool. The daytime graveyard level is fun and spooky. And I was playing this game for a while and kinda getting tired of it, until I saw The Bride of Frankenstein. I thought it was just gonna be a Universal Dracula game, but no, it's actually a full-on Universal Monsters game. So I had to keep playing, at least until I saw Frankenstein himself. Onto the judging. For the atmosphere, I'm going to give it a 2.5. It's cool that it's a Universal Monsters game, that it has other monsters just besides Dracula in it, and it's fun to play as Dracula. But some of the levels seem a little repetitive, and the theming completely really isn't there. Some of them, like the graveyard level, are cool, but others just kinda seem repetitive. Also, some of the fantasy-looking elements kinda hold it back. I wish the elf-looking people were just peasant villagers. And as far as the gameplay goes, I'm going to give it a 1.5. It can be fun drinking the blood as Dracula, and even though there are some sun levels trying to mix it up, it does feel really repetitive, and the janky camera angle that always tries to center on Dracula really holds it back. It's very distracting, and it kind of makes it hard to play. But if you're interested in Universal Monsters or Game Boy games, it's worth just checking out for those reasons solely alone. But it's far from being a Halloween classic.